And welcome to Hannity, and we start tonight with a Fox News alert. Tonight, President Trump just pulled off something once thought impossible, and the nation and the world are a safer place. For the first time in decades, we now have a clear path and committed coalition of partners to achieve a true, lasting peace in the Middle East. Take a look.
This is the day that people across the region and around the world have been working, striving, hoping, and praying for. Together, we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East, and it's a very simple expression, peace in the Middle East, and we've heard it for many years, but nobody thought it could ever get there, and now we're there.
Okay, so how did we get here? How did Trump pull this off when so many others had tried and failed? First, it is critically important to understand President Trump, more than any other president in the modern era, does understand the power, the influence of this country, the USA, and he is willing to use both economically, militarily, to make the world a better and safer place. After Afghanistan, guess what? America now stands bright and tall as the leader not only of the free world, but of the entire world. And this brings us to 4 critical points: how this all went down, how it all happened. And only Donald Trump could convince Israel. Why? Because of his long-standing support for Israel. And only Trump could get Israel to stop wiping out Gaza completely. That war was won. They just had to finish it. This, of course, after we had Hamas attacking Israel for decades, culminating with the attacks a little over 2 years ago on October 7th. Now, number 2, only Trump could convince a coalition of neighboring Arab countries to join in these peace efforts. Why? Because after decades, many of these countries, most of these countries, wanted nothing to do with any solution, and he was able to forge deep alliances with countries. Why? Because they trusted him. They respected him. He built up real and meaningful relationships with all of them. Number 3, you cannot underestimate the impact of Donald Trump sticking to his promise. Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, and then taking out the Iranian nuclear sites. The world knows that President Trump does not make idle threats. And this is proven with the Trump doctrine over and over and over again. And more recently gave Iran 50 days, choose peace. They said no. On day 51, Israel got the green light. They attacked Iran's ballistic missile sites, their air defense systems, and then we took out their nuclear facilities. Well, he gave them the choice for peace. They rejected it. Number 4, Trump said to Hamas, you can do it the easy way, you can do it the hard way. They initially rejected this deal. President Trump doubled down, said, if you reject this deal, you will be obliterated. Clearly, they believed him, and their minds were changed. This is the embodiment. This is not a phrase that conservatives use, peace through strength. Trust but verify. No, these are real principles that work in real time, and we watched it unfold before our eyes today. And as Time magazine rightly pointed out, this is Trump's triumph. But this is so much more than a political win. Thanks to the president, his team, countless lives have been saved on both sides of this conflict, including all 20 living hostages now released by Hamas. Thank God. Take a look.
Over the past 2 years, I've met many of the families of the Israelis taken hostage and those that were taken hostage. Unbelievable. I've looked into their eyes. I've seen the worst nightmares of their suffering. But I've also seen something else, the beautiful love of the people, the love of people, frankly, that hold things together, the love that gives you the courage to carry on through thousands of years of persecution and repression, and to emerge with the heart of David. It's the heart of David. It's that love that's defeated the enemies of civilization, built this incredible country and this unbelievable economy, and forged one of the great democracies of the world.
Now, for more than 2 years, these hostages, they were held in captivity by terrorists in Gaza, by Hamas, and now they are home. Take a look.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. וואי. אוי, כמה.
טוק שלי, בוא, אמא שלך. אוי, נמרוד. ילד גיבור שלי, ילד גיבור. חיים שלי. חיים שלי, אתה חיים שלי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. אמן.
Of Israel, I'm not really sure what part of hundreds of thousands of rockets that have been fired into this small country the size of New Jersey they don't understand. I'm not sure what part of murder, the equivalent of 40,000 Americans in a day murdered based on their population size versus ours, that they don't understand. I'm not sure what part of rape and kidnapping and beheading they don't understand. I've seen those videos. I wish the world would see them. And now the Middle East, by the way, and the world is changing rapidly right before our eyes, thanks to President Trump. America now is in the driver's seat. Today, every leader from almost every major country around the globe convened in Egypt to thank our president, to praise the administration's pursuit of peace. He's been unrelenting. He has literally been expending so much political time and energy to get this day accomplished and make this happen and commit to helping this become a lasting peace, a lasting coalition. Hours earlier, during his speech at Israel's Knesset, members of Israel's government were chanting Trump, Trump, Trump. Some were even wearing red MAGA hats. Take a look.
I love Israel. I'm with you all the way. You will be bigger, better, stronger, and more loving than ever before. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Middle East. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Thank you very much. Thank you.
History in the making. For the first time, maybe ever, there was cheering in both Israel and in Gaza. Make no mistake, you are witnessing history that many thought could never happen. But not everyone was particularly happy. The, quote, ceasefire crowd, well, can't seem to say much of anything at this point. It looks like they really didn't want a ceasefire after all, or they simply cannot find it within themselves to ever once, at one time, give President Trump any credit at all. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's dumb, incompetent former Secretary of State, the architect of the Afghanistan withdrawal, Tony Blinken, actually took credit for this deal, posting on X that he was glad that President Trump adopted the Biden plan for peace, which is like the most laughable post I've ever seen. Remember, Obama and Biden. Remember their Iranian nuclear deal? Remember they dumped, cash and other currencies and cargo planes on the tarmacs for the mullahs to foment more terror around the world? That was not exactly a peace plan. And that deal would have allowed the Iranians to become a nuclear superpower. In reality, the only thing Blinken ever pulled off was his disinformation campaign against Trump. Of course, he organized the now infamous letter signed by, 51 former Intel officials who had never seen Hunter's very real laptop that is now authenticated, falsely suggesting that laptop that they never saw was likely Russian disinformation. And meanwhile, over at fake news CNN, the network's far-left international correspondent, Christiane Ampor, forced to apologize over the disgusting comparison to the Holocaust. Take a look.
People who start to talk to the hostages who've only just been released will find that it will take a long, long time for them to recover physically but also mentally. It's been a terrible, terrible 2 years for them because not only are they there, they're probably being treated better than the average Gazan because they are the pawns and the chips that Hamas had. Now Hamas has given up all its leverage, by the way, by giving them all up. So that is a victory for the Israeli side.
The hate never stops. The rhetoric was even worse from a former MSDNC host who wrote and then deleted a tweet calling the war in Gaza worse than the Holocaust. Again, for some on the left, peace was never the goal. But for President Trump, peace was always on his mind. And despite the haters and those that doubt, he got it done. That's great for the world, great for Israel, great for the Middle East.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.